How we all getting along today? Well, I have successfully wasted a beautiful Saturday. Was not my intent. I intended it to be productive. Started out the day rebuilding a PTO gearbox, put new bearings in that. A buddy of mine had picked it up for me at a swap meet, and boy, I was glad he did. I was having trouble finding one for my old farm truck there. It's got one of them SM465s, and I was wanting to put a hydraulic unit on it so we could put a dump bed. So, got me a gearbox, didn't have the hydraulic pump, and lo and behold, in my piles of junk here in the shop, I had the correct hydraulic pump. But I figured while I had it out, I'd go ahead and put some new bearings in her. So I ordered me some bearings and, got lost in the mail there for a week or so. You know how the Postal Service is. But got them in, got the bearings all put in. Boy, I was proud of myself. I had an extra 465 transmission here in the shop. Decided I'll try to bolt that thing on there. Wrong gearbox, don't fit. So then I moved on to the welder. I've got a Miller Big G40 welder, and I'd bought a new faceplate for it, aluminum faceplate, beautiful little thing. And I decided I'd take a little video of doing that. Well, I got the faceplate on, but the video would not have been fit for the public to see. It was full of profanity and would not have met the fine decency standards of YouTube. So I decided I would move on to something else. So I got a beautiful little engine here this week. This one got lost in the mail too for a week or so, but bought it out of Florida. Some really nice people, good communication, beautiful little engine. Jenson 45. She was missing the stack, so I made me another little stack for her there, and that's kind of the gist of this video is the stack. A fella contacted me, and I'd kind of just abbreviated version of I'd made some stacks for some other ones, and he was wondering how I was doing it because he was unsuccessful. So what I'm using is 1/2 inch hard copper, and how I'm achieving the bell on it there is I anneal it with the torch, soften her up there metallurgically, so it will expand out. 1/2 inch hard copper, works just fine. Got a half, like this one here, has got a 1/2 inch coupler there. Now the 1/2 inch coupler was actually too small to fit this little engine. So I kind of took the 10 snips to it and cut some slits in her and expanded her out. Then split me a ring out of a piece of 3/4 hard copper, slid it down over it, compressed it back down, gave her a little tack of solder there. But yeah, the trick to the bell is annealing it first. Another thing with these little engines, they seem to never come with the cord. I don't think I've ever bought one that had the cord if it wasn't permanently attached. And you can get the cords, but they're relatively expensive. But I have came up with a way to make my own molded cords, and y'all can tell me how dangerous I am and how I'm doing it wrong and going to burn my house down. But I've been ignoring good advice my entire life, and yeah, I know I could buy one, but nah, it's more fun to spend a half a day building one of the damn things. And, if time was money, yeah, I'd be in trouble. So what I've got one here that's already done. I said, that looks just like a good old molded cord. Got a little tile tape on there for the transition. But what these are built out of is my good old friend JBWeld. I ought to take stock in this company. So what I do, most of these engines are very, very close to 10 gauge wire. So I start out with a solderless connector, cut one end of it off, take a little drill bit, clean up the insides of it, take that halfway burr out of it. There's a burr in there supposed to stop you from shoving your wire in too far. Take that out, and so I slip her up onto the pin sticking out of the engine there, put some tape over it, tape it up so that the JBWeld can't get in the engine. And this first one is this first run is to do nothing other than establish the distance between the pins. Subsequent coats, I'll clean it up and pull it in a little tighter, and I always just use a little masking tape there as a form. And this stuff, once it sets up hard, you can just shape it with a grinder, and you'll have you a beautiful little cord. I don't know whether JBWeld conducts electricity or not, but I have yet to electrocute myself doing this. I've electrocuted myself doing plenty of other things, but I think that's a good little cord. That ought to do her. Well, I think I'm going to give up for the day and wander on back to the house. And y'all have a good one. Got any questions or comments? Like that other fella there, I can try to clarify the best of my abilities, but I am by no means an orator. I'm not well versed in everything, but I can do it. I just can't explain it. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.